Alright, we have reached the final in Acapulco. It is the 5th seed Flavio Cobolli against the 8th seed Francis Tiafoe. But before I predict this final, I will just mention real quick that Medvedev has won the Dubai title, as I predicted he would do, but he didn't actually have to play a single point to win because his opponent, the Dutchman Talon Griekspoor, was apparently injured and he withdrew from the final match. So Medvedev won via walkover. I didn't see this coming. I didn't notice that Griekspoor was injured at all, but apparently he was, and he could not take to the court. So Medvedev has won the Dubai 2026 title, and this is the first time that he has won a tennis tournament 2 times, or the same tennis tournament 2 times rather. It is his 23rd title of his career, and it is his second title of the year. So I believe he is now the only other player other than Carlos Alcaraz that has won 2 titles in 2026. So congratulations to Medvedev. And now I will talk about the Acapulco final. First off, Flavio Cobolli. What an interesting match we just saw in his semifinals match against Kecmanovic. If you recall, I said that Cobolli would lose in straight sets because he is a fraud, or rather he was on my fraud list, but he did end up winning the match in 3 sets. He could have easily lost this actually in straight sets because the first set was a tiebreak. I believe Kecmanovic was ahead 3-0 in the tiebreak, which is not really a huge lead in these tiebreaks. It's pretty easy to swing the momentum. But that set could have definitely gone Kecmanovic's way, and then Kecmanovic won the second set. So he could have easily won this in straight sets. And he could have easily won this in 3 sets as well, because he was up a break in that final set. But he eventually lost that final set, I believe 6-4. And so now Cobolli, he has proved me wrong. So I have taken him off of my fraud list. I will no longer automatically predict him to lose. But I will not put Kecmanovic on my fraud list either to replace him, because Kecmanovic still did a good effort, in my opinion, that he definitely could have won this match. It could have gone either way. It is not like he got completely outplayed. So now neither of these two, Kecmanovic or Cobolli, are on my fraud list. And I'm actually going to predict Cobolli to win the final now. So please don't waste my time. I'm going to predict him to win in 3 sets against Francis Tiafoe, who defeated Brandon Nakashima in 3 sets, exactly like I predicted. I will predict Cobolli to win this final in 3 sets, and the reasoning for that is because he has the better finals record in the past 12 months. He has won 2 titles in he won 2 titles last year. Tiafoe, I don't believe he has won a title since 2023 or 2024, and he was in one final last year, which was in Houston, where he lost in straight sets to Jensen Brooksby, who was a super low-ranked player, if I recall. So that is the only final Tiafoe has been in the past 12 months, and for that reason I'm going to predict Cobolli to win this tournament. But I will give Tiafoe a set because he has somehow been... Well, that's not really a good reason, but he has been sneaking out all of his wins, or at least a couple of them. He has been really stealing them. Against Nakashima, Nakashima served for the match in the second set, and Tiafoe came back and won the tiebreak 8-6, and then won the final set 6-4. And then he also had a match against Alexander Kovacevic prior in this tournament where he was down, I believe, 2 match points, and he came back to win that in a final set tiebreak. So Tiafoe has really escaped from jail in some of his matches. But I will give him a set against Cobolli, even though... Oh, actually, yes, this will support my reasoning behind giving him a set. He is actually 2-0 in the head-to-head against Cobolli, I believe. He has won both of his matches against Cobolli in straight sets, which were both on outdoor hard courts. One of them was last year in Washington, a tournament where Cobolli actually reached the final in 2024. Tiafoe defeated him last year in Washington in straight sets. So both of the matches that Tiafoe has played against Cobolli, Tiafoe has actually won in pretty straightforward straight sets. So I will give Tiafoe a set here, but I think that Cobolli will get his first win against Tiafoe and win this title, defeating Tiafoe in 3 sets and be the champion of the 2026 Abierto Mexicano Telcel Open. Oh, not, I already said Abierto's Open. Yeah. Also, I wanted to briefly comment on my Santiago semifinals predictions, where the second semifinal is Luciano Darderi taking on Sebastian Baez, and I said that Darderi would win in 3 sets. But this morning I just realized that Darderi is actually on my fraud list, and it was an overlooked fraud list placement because I actually predicted him to lose the final of Buenos Aires against Cerundolo, which he did. But when I was looking back at my strategy that I was using to make predictions, I realized that in order to be consistent, I actually should have picked him to win that final, even though I didn't make that official prediction in the video that I put out. To be consistent with the strategy I was using to make predictions, I should have picked him to win that final, but he lost in 2 straightforward sets. So therefore, if I was being consistent with my method of predictions, I should have actually marked him as a fraud at that after he lost that final. So I retroactively placed him on the fraud list, but since he was placed on the fraud list by that means, I kind of forgot that he was on the fraud list. So I didn't pick him to lose this semifinal in Santiago. I picked him to defeat Baez. But now I realize that in order to stay consistent, since he was on the fraud list, I actually should have picked Baez to win this semifinal in straight sets, because Darderi is on that fraud list. But since I already published the video, I'm not going to change my official prediction that I put out. So my prediction is still going to remain Darderi defeats Baez in 3 sets in today's semifinal, just because I don't want to change the prediction on the video that I already put out. So that is going to stay my official prediction. But if Darderi wins this match, I will take him off my fraud list. If he loses the match to Baez in straight sets in such a way that he was not really that close to possibly winning the match, then he will remain on my... Well, he'll probably remain on my fraud list. Yeah, he will remain on my fraud list if he loses today, no matter what. But if he wins today, then he will be off the fraud list. So, yeah, but that is that. I'm not changing my official prediction of Darderi in 3 sets today. But back to Acapulco, I think that Flavio Cobolli will defeat Francis Tiafoe in 3 sets and be the champion of Acapulco in 2026.